Okay, so me and Eric, we met back in first grade, Avenel 4 and 5. We both became friends because we cried on the first day of school. I wanted to go home to my mom. It was his birthday, September 4th, and he wanted to go home and eat cake. And ever since then, we became best friends. Started playing sports together, youth sports, baseball, football, and then we had that bond all the way through. Sports really puts a bond together for a lifetime. Sitting in a locker room, practicing, and games on the field together really built a lifetime bond. And ever since 5 years old on now, we've been best friends. Speaking about Eric, the type of person he is, if you didn't know him, just his heart, all right, how good of a person he is. He's caring, and he always has a smile on his face, always wants to joke, laugh, and just his smile lights up the world. He's a great person. His commitment just to before his injury was to sports. He wanted to be the best. Same thing with high school. He was committed. He didn't care, if he knew he was the best. He had a scholarship. Now it's about his foundation, the Reading Foundation, raising money for a cure for paralysis, and he's fully committed to that. Doing whatever it takes to make sure people get back on their feet, and that just speaks volumes to the person he is. He's just committed and caring and a huge heart, and you'll always see a smile on his face no matter what his circumstances are, and it just speaks volumes to who he is, and I'm proud to call him my friend.
I remember Eric taking my junior SAT prep class, and the second he walked in, he said to me, "Hi, my name is Eric and I play football." And I said, "Hi, my name is Miss Abrams and I will be your teacher." He was always the hardest working and the happiest student I had ever had in all of my classes, always smiling.
I didn't get to teach Eric, but no one would know that because Eric would wind up in my class quite frequently. I taught all of his friends, so I would start my lesson and I would see him in the back of the room. And when I would ask him to leave, he would go, "Make me." And then I would have to try and push him out the door, and being so much bigger than me, he would toss me aside like a rag doll and go, "I'll be back tomorrow." So that's what I remember of Eric. We've even joked about that he was always wandering into my room. I think I should have just taught him.
I had Eric in English 3, and he said the same thing to me on the first day of class as he said to Miss Abrams. "Hi, my name's Eric and I play football." And he loved the game. And just like Miss Abrams said, he was dedicated to football and he worked really hard in class. He didn't need extra credit, but was always asking for it, and he put forth his best effort in not only football, but in the classroom.
So I had Eric Legrand as my student, he was in my homeroom when he was a junior. And even by, it was like September, October when he got his letter from Rutgers and he knew he was in for Rutgers his junior year of high school to play football, and he was so psyched. But yeah, that kid worked so hard. Every morning he would be asking me for math help and I would sit with him, I would help him with his math homework, and he was set. He could have skated by with pretty much nothing, but that's not who he was. And that's who you see now. You see how he's facing adversity, and he's got so much grit and so much determination and so much focus to overcome it and to improve and to make changes to benefit his life. But he's always been that way, even at 16, 17, that's who he was. And he always strived to be his best. And that's one of the things it's what you see in Eric now, but it's always been present in his character.
Talk about Eric Legrand right now too, what he meant to this school through the years. As a student, Eric was a very fun-loving kid. We loved being around. He actually played baseball for me freshman year, summer ball too, and he was just this big giant kid, that acted like a kid. And to this day, he still has that personality. He hasn't changed. He's a great human being. To this day, I think he's really inspired these kids, and I wish they would start to notice it a little bit more and not forget, because his journey has been a lot tougher and he's still got a smile on his face all the way through.
I remember coaching Eric as a freshman. Wonderful player. The biggest thing I remember about Eric is after his freshman year I left for a rival school. About a year later I saw Eric at a basketball game. He was with a crowd of his friends. Eric came out of the stands, shook my hand, said, "Hey coach, how you doing?" It just made such an impression on me about Eric's character. He's been a great guy since he's been a freshman, and it continues today.
Who's Eric Legrand? Every time I hear that name, I get goosebumps because I remember how sweet and how adorable was he as a person, a respectful student, and someone that you want to have in class all the time. Someone that sometimes I close my eyes in class and I think of him in that whole class, and I'm very proud of him, and he is a role model for everyone.
Okay? Eric was the gentlest human being out off the football field. He would come down to the gym, he would put his big arm around my shoulder, and I'd be looking at his arm, and you couldn't see him because his arm was too long, so he was behind me, and I said, it's either a cub or it's Eric. And he would just laugh, and oh, miss, and and he'd give me a little squeeze. He was just a gentle individual when he was in school.